What's up, guys? I'm Matthew. This is Practice Squadron. It's Monday. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in, whether it's on YouTube, whether you're listening to this podcast. Both, that's a little add to if you're watching it on YouTube. Subscribe to the podcast. I believe I'm on all of your podcast needs. We're on Google, Apple, Spotify, all that good stuff. And then if you're listening to this, if you found us in a podcast, check out the YouTube channel, Practice Squadron. Every day I've been trying to, or every weekday at least, I've been trying to do at least one podcast. Hopefully they're between, 15, 20 minutes. And then on the YouTube side, I've been trying to do 2 to 3 videos a day. We got card videos. We have the podcast sports talk that I'm doing now, and then also trying to do some tech videos as well. So definitely check those out. Got a variety for everyone. But if you've seen the thumbnail and the title of today's video, we're talking about the Philadelphia Eagles, and more specifically, how much I enjoy watching them lose. So, definitely sit back and, let's just dive in. Basically, if you don't know, I'm a Patriots fan. My best friend is an Eagles fan, okay? So, back in the day, when Donovan McNabb was the quarterback of the Eagles, took his team all the way to the Super Bowl. Terrell Owens was there and everything. They came so close to a Super Bowl victory until my man Tom Brady came and beat them in the Super Bowl. So from 2004? Yeah, 2004 all the way to 2017. Yep. 2017. 18? 18. 2018. Yes. 2018. Anyway, the Eagles beat the Patriots again, and from that point on, I had to listen to how good the Eagles are, how they don't need Carson Wentz, how Nick Foles is the best, and, when Carson Wentz gets healthy, he's going to be an MVP caliber quarterback again. So I had to listen to that for a year. And then the Patriots won the Super Bowl the next year versus the Rams. It was pretty awesome. And then now that Tom Brady is gone, Eagles fans think that they can just talk mess again. But not this year. Not this year. And this is why I love it. Honestly, and I've watched every Eagles game thus far this season, mostly because I have Sunday ticket, and mostly the Patriots schedule. And for a lot of teams out there, the schedule has been very inconsistent with the COVID results and pushing games back and everything like that. And also, I have Zach Ertz on my fantasy team. And this, as a side note, this might be the last week that I actually start Zach Ertz, because he has been super bummy. We're talking about a tight end who is arguably, he's top 3. The top 3 best tight ends in football. And the Eagles have no weapons outside of maybe Miles Sanders. And he's still doing Garbo. I'm talking less than 10 points a game, fantasy-wise, in a PPR system. And, if I didn't have him on my team, I would love the Eagles losing such a little bit more. But I'm like, Zach Ertz, how do you have no weapons on your team the whole offseason? In the beginning of the season, you were talking about how you wanted a new contract. They were going to Dallas Goedert early in the season. He gets injured. Now you have no complaining to do because they honestly should be feeding you, but they're not. And I don't know if that's a Carson Wentz or a Doug Peterson move. And here's what brings me to the game yesterday. So I'm watching, and they're I believe it was 4th down, right? Maybe 4th and 1. It was like towards the end of the first half. They're down. They might have been down 17-0, if I remember correctly. Down 17-0 supposedly, in field goal range. And all the announcers are doing is, you gotta go for it on fourth down. You gotta go for it on fourth down. Fourth down. You gotta go for it. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, man, if you're losing this bad, you just gotta get points where you can get them. Especially in the first half. You have to get points where you can get them. But no, the commentators were saying how you had to go for it on fourth down, and then I guess Doug Peterson was listening to them, even though I don't know what really their credentials are. Go for it on 4th and 1 in field goal range, and Carson Wentz can't get it. Carson Wentz can't get it. 4th and 1. Yeah. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, I knew they should have gone for 3. I knew it. I knew with all my heart they should have gone for 3. But then, of course, like the announcers backtrack a little, and I'm looking at Doug Peterson, and I'm like, what are you doing, man? What are you doing? And of course, they don't get the points, and then turns out at the end of the game they lose by 2. Field goals are worth 3, my man. 3 field goals are worth 3 points. So that's my thought process on why you got to get points when you can get them, and why it makes me feel so good when the Eagles lose. And honestly, I've been thinking about this every single game. I would probably hate the Eagles less if they played Jalen Hurts more, especially because Carson Wentz has been awful this whole season. Awful. I don't care about his stats. I'm caring about, like, I'm not even talking about the will to win. It's just like he just isn't getting it done. And the only thing that I feel like is keeping him in the game is that the NFC East is just so terrible that they're only like 1 game behind. Like, if the Cowboys lose today, they're still only 1 game behind. And I feel like that's what's kind of like feeding them, that the whole division is just trash, and that if they can just win 1 more game than the Cowboys, just like last year, that they'll go to the playoffs. But it's like, man, I'm watching the first half yesterday. They were awful, and I'm like, if you're gonna lose a game, you might as well just play Jalen Hurts. I feel like Carson Wentz is like 1 bad hit away from like ending his career. I know that sounds terrible and probably not very accurate, but I mean, he's just so fragile. And part of me is like, are they thinking about trading him? Because if I was him, I would trade him, start Jalen Hurts, whatever you can get for Carson Wentz, even though he has a terrible contract, which is like why I don't even know why they paid him. But I mean that's also another reason why they paid a man an exorbitant amount of money. I believe it was like $150 million, and he proved nothing. He didn't take his team to the Super Bowl. That was Nick Foles. Borderline awful last year. Barely makes it to the playoffs. Gets injured in the first game, and it's just terrible. Terrible. But it makes me happy. It makes me happy that I tune in every week, and I know what the outcome's gonna be, and I know they've won 1 game, and them tying Cincinnati kind of got me kind of hyped, because play calling their play calling. Doug Peterson is, I know he's a Super Bowl coach, but man, it is borderline. It's just not smart at times, in my opinion. I feel like he tries to go for it too much, and I mean, like, he's too risky, in my opinion. Sometimes you just gotta play the game the way the game is meant to be played. It's 4th down, kick the field goal. Okay, cool. Maybe if your quarterback isn't doing good, switch him out. I don't know. I feel like Jalen Hurts only gets like 3 plays a game, and I know that they're trying to use him as like a gadget guy, but at the same time, I'm like, the Eagles know they don't love Carson Wentz. I know they paid him, but they know that they don't. And even then, they know that their situation is terrible with the amount of injuries that they have. And and this is another thing, I put it on the GM, honestly. Like, why did you get no wide receivers this offseason? Like, Really? I know they drafted one, but he's injured again. Like, he's injured too. Like, ugh. Just terrible. And I picked up Greg Ward a couple of weeks ago. He's been fantasy. I mean, under 10. I picked up Fulgham. I might rock with Fulgham. I believe he's like an undrafted rookie, maybe. But I don't know. With all the injuries, he's been doing good. Deshaun Jackson, trash. It's like, retire already, Deshaun Jackson. That's how I feel towards that. Miles Sanders still good, but man. So on that, I believe it was third down. No, it was second down. It might have been. I believe it was second down on that play that they missed the fourth down conversion. Wide open pass to Miles Sanders in the end zone, wide open, and that ball goes right through the hands. Cost them 7 points. Also, why they lost the game, and I think that's why I enjoy watching the Eagles, because I go back and I'm like, man, you're so close, and yet you find a way to lose. And it brings me happiness and consistency every week. And honestly, in a football season like this, where guys are getting injured like crazy because there was no preseason or not a lot of off-season training, which I believe was a huge mistake. They should have delayed the season, in my opinion. I think it goes to show that NFL needs preseason for the players to get ready, even though the players themselves probably don't want it. I think it's that. But yeah, in a year of that and a year of like delaying games due to COVID, it brings me so much joy to know that I can count on the Eagles either choking or losing. And I hope it continues. I hope it continues for the rest of the season. I would love for them to get to the end and be one game shy of the playoffs. That's my 2020 dream right there. My 2020-21 NFL dream, please. Just the Eagles getting so close. And yeah. What a joy. What a joy in life. Well, guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening, tuning in. If you're an Eagles fan, calm down. It's not that serious. I've seen what y'all do after y'all win and lose games on the good old interwebs, how y'all be trashing your own city. Keep that to a minimum. Keep that to a minimum. And hey, maybe if you're somebody who also likes watching the Eagles lose, definitely let me know in the comment section what are the season's greetings for you. What are the things that you've seen this season that's made you just feel so good when the Eagles mess up? That would be awesome. Well, I'll see y'all tomorrow. Hear from me tomorrow. Like I said, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're listening to this on podcast. Leave me a review. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, Patreon, all that stuff, guys. If you want me to talk about something tomorrow, definitely go through the right channels on the comments or on Twitter. Just let me know, and I'll give you all my thoughts on that tomorrow. Well, peace.